Welcome back. It's still the Betterhalf show, and today we've been discussing uh, sex without boundaries. And my guests on this episode have been very, very interesting. Now, guys, 10 years into marriage, you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to lovemaking. Sometimes you get there, sometimes it's just not working, and all that. And some other times it's a complete dry spell. You just have this time where it just seems like we're not getting our groove at all and nothing is really working. Have you been there, and how did you cope with that?
I want to go first.
Okay. I let me say this personal experience. I remember there was a time when this is PG rated, right? Okay. There was a time when my husband used to say I used to fake it in bed. Like I used to fake. That I used to fake it, and he didn't want me to fake it. And I would say, but I'm not faking it. I'm not really faking it. I'm not. And then he will just go off and say, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Or were you really faking it?
Sometimes.
Well, okay, it was really. Why were you faking it those times?
Well, that would take us to some of the disagreements we had because of the frequency. It was getting too much. I was hurting. It was becoming painful. He would want to have sex in the morning. He would come back from early in the morning, 5 o'clock, you're waking up. And I'm not fully awake. And he's already turning me, like, turn this way. And then he will come back from work. And after eating dinner, and he's watching CNN, it's, babe, it was too much. And he expected that at every point in time that he called me, I was supposed to be, oh, the Superman is here. So I just had to fake it along the way because he would complain. And don't forget that I was coming from a lot of self-esteem issues.
Okay.
So I was thinking I have to meet up. I have to meet up this guy's
impress him,
yes.
And all that. And also just for some singles who may be watching us to understand this. Personally, when I was single, I thought no dry spell. When it comes to sex, I should have it in the morning, afternoon, evening. In fact, if I can do, buffet all the time. So because part of my own motivation for getting married is passionate lovemaking, just sex anyhow. But after getting married, just like this experience you shared, you come to terms with the fact that it's not all about sex, though sex is a major part of it, and all that. Did you think that time Larry was not just, ready to understand anything?
Yes, and I felt, I was actually feeling like I was just a sex object. I was just a real-life Barbie. That's what I was feeling. Like, I'm human, I have feelings, I have emotions, I'm going to school, I'm going to work, I have challenges, ups, downs, highs that I'm going through. Have a conversation with me. Ask me how my day was. Be romantic. It's like all the romance went out the window and the romance didn't enter the sex life. Sex is completely differently from romance.
Larry, are you just that sex junkie who just want to do this all the time? You really, you couldn't care so much about our emotions.
Like I said, PG, she was very beautiful. She was, I just wanted
So you're
her.
just overly
She is still
attracted to her.
beautiful. I was very attracted to her. Part of the problem I had also was that because of my frequent demand, when she was going to sleep on the bed, she would dress up as if she's going for a wedding or to a party. If you see the belt, see the jeans, tight jeans, that even if you want to remove the jeans, you are okay by the time you finish. So I would complain. I say, why will you be dressing as if you are going to war when you want to sleep beside your husband? And then she will say she's head. If she tries to come half naked, she'll be attacked, And then she'll go back to the dressing up again, I had to engage one of our very close friend, elderly close friend, who then helped me in that area. That okay, don't worry, I would try. I had challenges not touching her, and it was a big challenge. It was a big challenge.
Was a
Yeah,
challenging
we
one.
struggled in that area in terms
Okay.
of frequency and in terms of when I want it and all that. And she just thought
And
that
how you want it.
and how I
Okay.
wanted.
So
And
there's a question of how,
And
when,
when.
how many times.
Yes.
yeah, and there was a time when she told me, "Oh, you're not even romantic. You're not even sending me flowers and all that." And so for like 6 months, I'll send flowers. She loves it. We make love. The next day she sees flowers again. She say, okay. So every time she sees flower or cake, she say, okay, this guy, because I've spent over 30 or 50K. It can't, 50K. And I will not reap anything. So, so it sort of like became a routine. And then that also went dry because you can be very romantic and the romance then becomes, there's no spontaneity, there's no originality anymore. It
Yeah.
was a
And
big,
sometimes it also feels like maybe you are paying for it.
yes, it's as if it's a commercial transaction. I bought flower. Should you say flower? That's romance. Oh yeah, now.
Larry, that was very interesting. And we need to go on a break right now. When we come back, we're going to be, just wrapping this all up. Don't go away. Please stay with me. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Better Half Show, and we have been discussing sex without boundaries. And it's been very interesting interacting with Larry and Tosin Babalola. Let's start to wrap this all up with a question from social media. My friends on social media send me, questions from time to time, and this one says, "Is it okay to use sex toys in our marriage? As in, love making in marriage, is it okay?" I mean, we're married, so anything at all that can give us pleasure. Larry, what do you say to that?
Um,
Since you are the chief.
for us, it's a no-no. We've had a discussion earlier in the marriage that that idea we won't allow, quote and unquote, a stranger into our marriage, especially our love-making life. I will want to be her sex toy, and I want her to be mine. I want to satisfy her to that level that any sex toy or any gadget can take her to. If there are some gaps or weaknesses, if our communication is very sound and very effective, I think I should be able to learn the way to pleasure her enough for her not to need any sex toy.
And you're not doing
Vice
badly at
versa.
that, I suppose.
Say that again.
I say you're not doing badly at that, I suppose.
Testimony, testimony, testimony.
So, Tosin,
Yes, PG.
what do you say to this? Your husband said it, you've agreed and all that. Any regrets? Any, for not allowing sex toys? Do you think it would have been better
No,
or
because
something?
I feel that two things. One, with the pressure and the naivety I was coming into in the marriage with, having a sex toy could have done two things. One, increase my pressure on myself to use it on him and it to show my inexperience. Or two, I gravitate towards the sex toy since the sex toy will not ask me
For frequency,
for frequent. It will not ask me. I don't have to please the sex toy. I don't have to put so much pressure on myself with the sex toy. So it will just be an
Turn your
additional,
attention away.
exactly.
All
So
right, all right. That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective to it. So from the Babalolas, sex toys are no. Some other people have other perspectives to it, and I'm going to be asking some of my audience today about their perspective to sex toys in marriage. Anyone wants to give this a shot? All right, all right.
Oh well, for me, like Mr. Larry said, sex toys, no, I'm all the toy my wife will need. One of the things we do in the bedroom is we communicate, even when we are making love. Ask her like, how would you like it? Tell me, and I also tell her. So we have fun. We have fun in the bedroom, and it's all good.
Okay.
Very brave.
All right, let's hear from a woman, maybe. Okay. What's your take on this issue of sex toys?
Okay, one of the reasons why I wouldn't encourage sex toys is because I think it could be addictive. If you start it, you're going to end up, it's going to be like taking drugs. And eventually, like Ms. Mawala said, you're going to gravitate towards the sex toy than looking forward to making it to your husband. So for me, it's a no-no thing. We talked about it in my husband. I don't think I want to have sex toys with his own image. It doesn't make sense.
All right. Thank you for that response. All right, let's take a feedback on the issue of sex toys from a person in the audience.
All right. For me, I do the definition of a toy, and that is something you play with. Like my wife is something I play with every now and then. I would use my toy. I can play her anywhere, anytime, any day. So a sex toy is for me is a third party in the marriage. Now, if you bring in a sex toy into your home, if you have, for me, my perception is if you have any little disagreement, you resort to the sex toy. It doesn't all go well. Yeah, another vital point for me is it kills your sex drive, which is very, very important. It kills your sex drive because if it goes on and on and on, and before you know it, you get addicted to the sex toy, and your partner is not good area for you. For me, it's not at all.
All right, interesting perspectives on the issue of sex toys. But I understand that there may be particular situations where a couple may just have to engage the use of sex toys. Maybe someone has been rendered, incapacitated, maybe because of an accident or something, and there's mutual consent for us to say one partner still has to be able to derive some bit of pleasure without the recourse to a third party human outside of the marriage. Larry, what do you have to say about that?
Well, in situations, in such extreme situations, I would advise both couples, especially if both of them are able to communicate and they're able to agree on the type and on the introduction of such.
And how to go about it,
and
and
how
all
to
that.
go about it. It's not going to be a problem if both of them, if they are able to agree on it and they
Yeah,
use it.
I mean, the way I feel about this whole thing is more like, you know what, it's your preference and not to, and it may be for some other people, it works for them, and they don't really see it as maybe third party. They're able to scope it properly and say, with mutual consent. I mean, some couples will say, I can only use it with my spouse, so I'm not allowed to engage sex toys alone, and stuff like that. Tosin, what do you say to that?
In the case of serious medical problem, and you're sure of the length of time, for example, you're sure this person is not going to recover anytime soon, and you've been able to seek help where you're able to openly discuss it and discuss, okay, what if I no longer feel attracted to you at some point, even when you come up? You've discussed all the pros and the cons, and you both agree that, okay, this is what we're doing. Then I guess it's fine.
All right. Thank you for hanging out with me on the show today,
You're welcome.
Tosin and Larry
Thank you,
Babalola. Such an insightful discussion we have had, and also I want to appreciate you for your openness, for your willingness to share your private life with us on the Betterhalf show.
So we should go and get attacked.
Don't go away. I will come back to wrap up on this very interesting topic. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. sex is a binder. It binds a man to his wife in marriage. And when a man and his wife are both mutually satisfied, they're not open to sexual temptations. And you are able to focus on your spouse. And that's the reason why you need to cultivate one another like you cultivate a garden. You need to learn from one another, be open, communicate freely about sex, enjoy variety. Variety with time, with place, with style. It's your life. Enjoy it together. And know that it can get better from time to time. And it's on that note that I'll be signing off on the Betterhalf show today. It's been nice hanging out with you. I look forward to being with you again another time on this show. And until then, keep building yourself up, building good relationships, and connecting with great people. And may your relationships and marriage be sweet.